In today's video, we'll be ranking the top 10 best bloodlines for PvP. For number 10, this is going to be Vengeance. Now, Vengeance is kind of an underrated bloodline in my opinion. It's really good, but of course, it does have some cons. Like, the form is not really that good. It doesn't have custom M1s. It doesn't really have a great C-spec, but its moves are really good. Especially the grappling move that you can grapple the enemy towards you. This is very useful in PvP, and it's a must-have, especially if you get Vengeance. I would not spin it away, especially since it has a skin, so you can pretty much keep this bloodline anytime you want, so definitely pick up Vengeance and the skin as well. For number 9, this could be Bankai Akuma. Now this is kind of like the little bit of the worser version of Vise Akuma, but Bankai Akuma is still really good. It's got, I think, 3 forms, and it's got really good M1s. It's full Sensano, which is always busted in Shindo life, especially when it's like Getsuya with a full Sensano or Bankai Akuma with a full Sensano. They're all really good, and Bankai Akuma used to be a lot better. Probably would be ranking in number 1 a couple years ago, but after the nerfs it's received, it's now ranking number 9, but it does have a couple good moves, including a Infernal block one. It's like sending Infernal Flames. Then it's got a stun as well, so it's got a lot of opportunity, especially if you can do some good combos with this one. Bankai Akuma has a lot of opportunity, especially with the C-spec that's like a teleportation. So it's got a couple stuns, it's got a couple teleportation moves. It's kind of almost like Boramaki and Code Gaiden a little bit. If you know those teleportation bloodlines, this is kind of similar, so that's going to be for number 9. For number 8, this is going to be Shindai Rengoku. Now, you've heard me probably talk about Shindai Rengoku quite a lot, and I will continue to talk about Shindai Rengoku because it's still a busted bloodline. It's great for green scroll missions, boss scroll missions, and really good for PvP. It's got an awesome Q spec that is pretty overpowered. It's got custom M1s that are still very effective, and of course its moves. It's got a meteor move, which is pretty good. Its second move, which I'll be honest is not really that good. It's just kind of like a flamethrower move. It's not really that good. I wouldn't recommend using that one. But its last move, which I think it's its strongest move, is a counter. It's almost like Code Gaiden's counter when it sends clones out. This is kind of the exact same thing, but it's just a little bit worse than Code Gaiden. So it's kind of like Code Gaiden, the worser version would be Shindai Rengoku, but still do not sleep on Shindai Rengoku. It is still an absolutely phenomenal bloodline. I would recommend it all the time. For number 7, this is going to be Raiden Sabrew. Now this one is might catch you off surprise, but this moves are really good for PvP. They're really great. They're teleportation moves, and its form is really good as well. So its form is almost like kind of like a, not really a Sensano, but it looks like you can fly with it, which you can't unfortunately. But it is a pretty cool looking form, and its moves are pretty busted as well. For number 6, this is going to be Snake Man. Now, Snake Man is kind of an underrated bloodline as well. Its form is really good. It's kind of like, if I could explain it, it's got extended M1s, and then it's got a couple of good moves, which are kind of like instant damage ones. So that's going to be for number 6. For number 5, this is going to be Ragna. Now, Ragna is kind of like Thunder in Shindo, or Shiver in Shindo life. It's kind of really good at stuns, so you're going to want to pick this one up if you want a bloodline that can stun a lot. Its moves are really just highly stun effective. And it's really good for that, and its form isn't too bad either. I don't think it has custom M1s, but I could be mistaken on that. If it does, better for it, but you're really going to want to use this bloodline for its moves rather than its form, kind of like Vengeance. Its moves are better than its form, and this is the same sort of similar situation, so do keep that in mind. For number 4, this is going to be Getsuya. Now, Getsuya is, of course, a kind of a busted bloodline in general. It's really good. It's kind of, you get into, when you do M1s, you get into like a Ninetales form. So it is really good for that, and it's really good at crowd control, so really good at dungeon. And of course for PvP, it's got teleportation moves. These are one of the sort of bloodlines that you can just easily use. It's probably one of the most easiest bloodlines to use. Unlike Minikaze, Code Gaiden, this one requires no skill, so you can kind of just spam this one. So that's kind of what makes it so overpowered. You can just kind of keep spamming Getsuya, and you really have no problem. So Getsuya is also really good because it has those C specs and Q specs, which is really overpowered. So that's going to be it for Getsuya. For number 3, this is going to be Minikaze, and you might have seen this one coming. Minikaze is an absolutely busted one, and I'll quickly break down why that is. So Minikaze has a teleportation move, which is almost kind of like how Code Gaiden's teleportation moves, you can teleport. So Minikaze is really great at teleportation, and it's really good for PvP because you can teleport to the enemy, very useful, and then you can teleport around the map. So it's almost like a dagger throw, or just with the wired one, where you can kind of get out of the way. Minikaze is kind of a running bloodline plus an attack bloodline, so it specializes in those two categories. So if you get Minikaze, I would definitely recommend keeping Minikaze because it's a busted one. Its form is, I'll be honest, its form is not phenomenal. It's not a bad form by any means, but some custom M1s would have been better, because I think it just used basic M1s, but I might be mistaken on that. But if it does, the form could be a little bit better, but its moves are really good. It's got time stop, it's got pretty much everything you'd want for a form. So for number 2, this is going to be Golden Jokai. Now the Golden Jokai is very heavily used in PvP. It's got phenomenal stun locks. Its form is not really that good, I'll be honest. It's not a bad form, but kind of like Vengeance and kind of like Minikaze, its moves are better than its form, and a lot of times you'll see these with these bloodlines where the moves are better than its forms, and this is a similar situation. So its moves is like a rotation, a palm throw, which is kind of not really that useful, but and it's got a stun. So its stun is really good. Its rotation is the best move out of the entire move set. So its rotation is probably what you're going to be using from this, because it's a quick getaway move, it's a quick stun. So it's kind of surprisingly, if you're wondering, there's a Jokai and then there's a Golden Jokai. The difference between them is that Golden Jokai does a little bit more damage than regular Jokai, so Golden Jokai is a little bit better, so don't get confused with that. A lot of people see it as a skin. It's kind of like a skin, but don't forget Golden Jokai is better than regular Jokai. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of people get that mistaken. But coming in as an honorable mention, this is going to be the Rel bloodline. Now I didn't want to put this at number 1 because I felt like that wouldn't really be that fair, because it's a very hard bloodline to get, but of course this is the best bloodline in the entire game, gives you Rel coins, and it's just bottom line the best bloodline in the entire game. There's not really saying, I mean the cooldowns are kind of ridiculous, but it kind of makes sense. But of course Rel bloodline, best bloodline in the game, but it's a 1 out of 20,000 chance, so it's a very unrealistic bloodline to aim for. But if you do get it, and you are lucky enough to get it, it is the best bloodline in the game. So coming in our number 1 pick, this is going to be Code Gaiden. So you might have seen this one coming. Code Gaiden is the best bloodline, I think, in Shindo Life, not just for PvP, but just for green scroll missions. Well, maybe not for dungeon, because I think Gesser would be a little bit better with dungeon, or maybe Renshiki's second form. But Code Gaiden is really good. It's got a couple of teleportation moves, and then that's what it's really good at. It's got teleportation moves, so you're getting that plus from Minikaze. It's kind of like Minikaze with the teleportation, and then it's a little bit like Shindai Rengoku, where you've got that third counter move, but this counter is a lot better because it stuns, and it just does a lot more damage, so you're getting a lot more of a better sort of combo than you would be with Shindai Rengoku. And I think its second move is really good, and its form is really busted as well. So this is altogether the best bloodline in Shindo Life, not just for PvP, but for everything else. Get Code Gaiden, it's a phenomenal bloodline. But anyway guys, that's gonna be the end of this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.